Boca Raton. It's live now. All right, welcome to the show. We're back at the auction gallery at Boca Raton. Jeff Deforrest. We got the Jaybird, the great auction man himself, Jay Keelstock, and the one and only world-renowned polyman, Paul Missel. You know, it's amazing about the polyman Jaybird, and good to have you with us, our second entry here. And we've got Todd now at the controls, much more sophisticated.
Oh, look at this equipment.
This man's a real professional.
I feel like I'm in a studio here.
He's been all over the world. He's been to Rayford. He's been to Rikers Island.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Alcatraz. No, he's been everywhere, and does a tremendous job. Oddly, though, you probably didn't know this fact, Jay Bird.
That show we did from Rikers was one of our best.
I saw that. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
I felt a little inhibited, like maybe that we were being closed in on a little bit. But Polyman turned down the lead role in The Revenant, and now look what's happened. He had a shot there to come back from the dead and resurrect his acting career, turned it down. DiCaprio takes the part, and the next thing you know, he's up for every award that there's
I had to turn it down. It takes me 6.5 years to grow like stubble.
A lot of stuff. And you guys are on the verge here. Of course, we're at the auction gallery of Boca Raton. Easy to find, right by the Applebee's southeast corner of Jog and Atlantic Avenue here in beautiful Delray Beach, which has been Deluge Beach lately. Yeah, it was rough. I mean, we normally come on a Wednesday up here, and that's going to be our routine. But yesterday was a washout, so we're almost at the point of let's play two, no?
And a half hour ago, tornado touched down.
Right up the street, yeah.
Right up the street like a half hour ago.
It is a weird thing, huh? It's one thing to dodge hurricanes. You know, you got like the weather guy up there for a couple of weeks in advance going, you're all going to die. Take cover. You're all going to die. But this tornado thing comes out of nowhere. Yeah. Just starts snapping off trees and cars start jumping around. All right, we've got a bunch of stuff to get to on the show. We're going to deal in a little bit of the sporting world as well as some other things. But what's happening here at the auction gallery? You guys are cranking it up for Sunday, no?
Sunday's a big one. It's our pre-Valentine's auction. It'll be in 2 weeks. This one here, we have incredible state jewelry. We have bronzes. We got some fabulous paintings. Some of them are over here on the wall. We're expecting about 150 people. We're trying something little new. We're going to have free brunch here, catered obviously by the world-famous Gramercy right next door. They're going to bring in chafing dishes with eggs and potatoes and bacon and bagels and cream cheese and coffee. So
now, does that just bring out the schnorrs?
The schnorrs
will weed them out.
We have the schnorrs come
the
here.
People that will buy nothing that will be.
But that's what we have Gary for here. He's our schnorr evictor.
Yeah.
He's our schnorr evictor.
Does a siren go off or something?
We have the whole section for the schnorrs in the back. Over here we have our Meshuggah section. These are the crazy people, and then over here we have the regular bidders. So it's we have a lot of fun.
Did the Meshuggahs ever put their hand up? Did they get involved at all?
The Meshuggahs do get involved. They like being called Meshuggahs. For some reason, I've always been able to get away with that. You know, I call you a Meshuggah, they laugh at you.
But they bid. They're in the action.
They bid. The other guy calls you a Meshuggah, they punches you in the mouth. So I've always been lucky that way. But no, it's going to be Sunday here at 1 o'clock. Till about 4 o'clock, we have 300 fabulous lots of stuff to auction. Our catalogs, in fact, are out, guys. If anybody wants to come in, we'll have exhibition tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Here's our new catalog. And right now, we're preparing for our fabulous, check this out, we're going to have champagne. Every woman that walks in on Valentine's Day auction will be getting a long stem rose with a white ribbon. We're going to have champagne flowing with strawberries. It's going to be a lot of fun over here. Yeah.
You can't trust the people with the bottle, though. I mean,
no bottles.
Especially with schnorrs involved.
The schnorrs, the bottles, it goes under the legs.
By the way, Gary, with his expertise, I mean, this is particularly of great importance right now in the auction business. I mean, he's the art assessor.
He's our art assessor.
A lot of rip-offs. They had some dishwasher in Harlem who was painting Mona Lisas, and they were selling them for millions. Sotheby's, everybody was fooled. This guy, nothing gets by him.
Remember last week we were sitting outside, and this guy was bringing in stuff. Well, I wasn't here to vet it, but when I come in, the guy brings me in 2 Urte, beautiful signed Urte paintings. The only problem is it wasn't signed by Urte. It was signed by him.
Saul Schwartz, yeah.
Saul Schwartz. He says, come on, it looks like Urte. Unbelievable.
We always wanted to ask you. DEFO one.
And you know what his comeback was? Urte, my ass.
Yeah.
DEFO wanted to ask me, what's the fascination with the Latin artist in pencil draws the rotund women, heavy-set women.
I have no guy. The guy, as of about 2 years ago, he was still
Dead or
alive.
alive?
He was Montero.
Dead?
He was alive as of 2 years ago. He's not on my dead and alive list, but it's incredible when you're 85 years old and you can say, "I'm going to go down in my basement and make myself $2 million."
He draws like one circle.
A circle
Stomach of a heavy-set woman.
a fat lady.
2 million.
That's
Nice
it.
work if you can get it. Yeah.
If you can, incredible. So I think we could be.
Every other block, he's got a $2 million bronze.
Yeah, I think we should give the Paulie man a set of watercolors and a little thing, and I think we can mark it as original Paulie man.
He has artistic talent.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely.
You know, now with
I
his
have
fame,
an artistic touch. Remember when I gave you the drawing of Popeye and said it was Roger's
I
Hornsby?
appraised it for $3,000.
I said, this is the missing Roger's Hornsby card. It was a picture of Popeye with a can of
we have a lot of stuff on the show, too. We have the Dead or Alive. We've got more input on the auction. And also the Joe Namath coat is something that
Joe
we're gonna
Namath's original
end up
Joe
talking
Namath
about
coat,
here.
yeah.
I think, you know what, I was working that day at Shea, that famous day.
Were you?
When he walked in for the AFC Championship
There's
game.
Joe calling out
against
for
the
his
Oakland
coat.
Raiders. It's another bill collector.
I
Unfortunately.
turned mine off because
If I knew how to turn it off, I
yeah.
would. I mean, that would be the thing to do. But that just shows you that, you know, this is live and you
no
know,
question
we're
about it.
I
enacting,
was
but-
at the celebration of the Super Bowl, and Namath, Johnny Sample, and I believe either Matt Snell or Emerson Boozer was the third one, all had and
the first
Johnny
coach?
Sample sort of let slip out a few years later. They were bought kind of under the table. They were swag, DEFO. They were they fell off one of the trucks going to Kennedy Airport.
Oh, yeah, nice, yeah.
All
nice.
seriousness, now this is a
Like Frenchie Fuqua would be wearing this
This
kind
is
of
a $6,000 coat that we're going to.
Can we get a model to walk
yeah,
by the
come
camera?
here,
Yeah, we need a
Melissa.
little modeling on this
This
thing.
is our photographer, the lovely Melissa Staskowski.
Melissa will be our official model.
She'll be
Yes,
our
she
official
doubles as a
model.
model.
She's
Joe
our
Namath
model.
coat.
Here. This is a $6,000
Wow.
crystal fox coat. Ladies and gentlemen,
That's beautiful.
we're starting the bidding
Just
off
go ahead and
at
roll through the shot here.
$400.
4 sticks, that's it?
$400. Actually, your husband should buy this for you, Melissa.
I think it's you own it now just for
I
wearing
think
it.
it's just for wearing it. Look at that. Isn't she lovely, ladies and
Looks
gentlemen?
good on
A couple
her.
of things about the
Looks
coat.
beautiful on her, really.
Because you can relate to this, being a kid from the Bronx there. Where'd you grow up, Jay?
I'm in Philadelphia. Yeah.
I don't know if this was as prevalent in Philadelphia as it was
Thank you, Melissa.
in New York City boroughs, but the coats were always on the ground. I mean, fur was popular back when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You too. Your mom had a fur coat. It was a sign of status and, you know, symbolic of people that were actually starting to make some headway in life. And pretty much everybody had one, it seemed, in my neighborhood. But they were all laying on the ground of the closet because you had taken all the hangers that they were hanging on and used them to, you looped them together
balls
so
out
you
of the
could
sewer.
scoop a ball that had gone down the sewer.
Down the sewer, right.
And get it together. And then with the Namath thing, I'm working Gate D at Shea Stadium as I think I was a 20-year-old Deef. And I had some jaybird instincts in me back then. I like to wheel and deal a little bit with the cash, you know. So I'm selling souvenirs at Gate D as the people come into the AFC title game. And the story now with legendary, and you're all about verification in this industry.
everything has to be
That's why
verified.
Gary's out there going, "That's a fraud." The guy didn't even get in a parking lot. He hasn't even opened the door to U-Haul yet. And he goes, "That's a fake." Just warns the
That's
guy.
That's his favorite line.
Right up front. But now the verification came later in a documentary about Namath that he was hammered when he showed up for the AFC title game. But I'm working the gate there. We're selling souvenirs. Things are going great. We're piling up the cash. And then we're thinking, hey, has anybody seen Namath? Because we were right by the Players parking lot entry. And we saw, like everybody else, piling in there, Boozer and Snell and Pete Lamons and all these great Jet players. Sherman Plunkett came waddling in. And sure enough, it's getting close to game time. We're getting ready to get out of there. They're singing the anthem. Here comes Namath in a coat just like that, with a blonde on each arm.
I remember that picture.
He
Sure.
looked like looked like they were holding him up.
Yep.
And the Jets were getting hammered in that game for the most part, as I remember, and then came back late on a Namath dramatic touchdown. But later on, it was proven, as they had that documentary on Joe Namath, that he was out all night. The rumor had it. The police had gotten wind of it, and they all sent it in on the Raiders.
Right?
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
that's right. I
They
remember
all
reading
sent
that.
it in on the Raiders, and then somehow they pulled off this miracle, went on to win Super Bowl III, and kind of
Very
changed
much
the
like
landscape
the
of football.
first fight, the Duran
Leonard,
Sugar Ray. From first-hand sources, they were sort of said maybe Duran was training on some white kind of stuff, and
yes,
it was pretty
as
well.
He had a tendency to do.
It was pretty well documented, and some very dangerous men sent it in on Sugar Ray, having completely the first-hand information. And once again, you never know in the world.
The guy rose to the occasion and ended up okay. All right, we had the games last week, and
what do you take out of those games from last week?
I'm still not sold that Peyton Manning isn't going to make a fool of himself in the Super Bowl here, and we're all going to be, standing there, reading the obituary columns, and that's where the results of the game are going to be. I saw some real sad stuff happening there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact people are on Belichick, and it's popular to do because they all thought he cheated his way to these championships, and maybe he did. I don't know to what degree he did over anybody else, but. You're looking and saying to yourself, what the heck is wrong here? They got the ball back 3 times in the fourth quarter. After the fourth quarter was about midway through, right? It was about 8 minutes to go to get the ball. They drive down. They end up with a 4th and something. They had actually made some headway, and you're thinking, you can't kick a field goal there. And then they got the ball back again, did the same thing, were somewhat in field goal range and opted to go for it instead, failed. Then finally they get it back again, they score a touchdown. And people are all over Belichick saying, well, if you had kicked those field goals, but you couldn't assume you were going to get the ball back. And that's a scathing indictment against Peyton Manning. I mean, this is a veteran quarterback with everything going his way. They had all the momentum. They were dictating the pace on the scoreboard. And he couldn't generate 1 first down at the tail end of that fourth quarter. I mean, missing guys by a mile.
Right.
I think that's a real detriment. I know it's not popular, Paulie, man. You probably fall over backwards, to pick the chalk in a game. But I think Carolina should be a heavy favorite in this game.
I think 4.5 is way too short.
I who never liked the chalk. And one of my best bets of my life was when Denver did upset Green Bay in the first Elway. But I like Carolina here by a touchdown or better. Maybe they're just this good, Everyone, including me, doubted them.
Yeah.
Preseason, they wanted to fire the general manager, Kelvin Benjamin out. How did he not replace anyone? They have no personnel on his team, no offensive weapons to help Cam. And boy, oh boy,
Speaking
what a
of
season
Cam,
they had.
if you had to design a quarterback from the ground up, I mean, oh my goodness. Guy's bigger than the linebackers. He's faster than the linebackers.
That's what Ryan Clark was saying, a great defensive
and
player
he can throw the ball on the dime.
From Pittsburgh, said he called his wife in a preseason game or something. Cam came around the end in a quarterback sweep. And he says, this is the guy I got to tackle.
Yeah.
So he called his wife, said, that's it, babe, I'm finished. I'm hanging up.
He loves it, too. I mean, in open defiance of every, can we say, use a little French here, every pussy rule of quarterback play that you could ever have. Where, you're supposed to slide, avoid the contact, run out of bounds, just go ahead and take the sack, rather than challenging.
He's something else. He was something else at Auburn, too. And his rookie season early, remember, people that were betting against him, the popular phrase was, wow, I was Newtonized.
Yeah.
And he's something else.
I'll tell you, I look at a lot of things a little different than most people. That's why
that's why you're in this jam. No, that's why it's going
I saw what I took out of the weekend was the post-game interview from Jerry Richardson. I don't know if you saw that with Bradshaw, but it certainly reminded me of Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, he does look a little bit close to deceased.
Deceased. I thought Bradshaw's hand was behind him, making his lips move.
Brings up an interesting thing, though. I mean, what disease has Terry Bradshaw not had?
Yeah.
He's been mentally ill. He's got shingles. I mean, this man he makes the Paulie man look, he looks like the English patient compared to the Paulie man, this guy. There's nothing that he hasn't been hawking in terms of, like, disease corrective, medications, said Terry Bradshaw.
Right.
But you're right. The guy couldn't even stand up. I mean, they were winning the game and everything was going great. And
he was like, am I here? Where am I? This is... Maybe he was hit when he was a football player.
The only thing missing was like V. Stiviano on his lap. Some senile old bastard that just happens to own a team. You can't go wrong, though. I mean, I think we were talking about this last week on the show. You can't go wrong if you own a sports franchise. You could be the dumbest MF on the planet.
No question about it.
And people are knocking you and the fans are calling, oh, this Stephen Rossi's an idiot. Look at James Dolan, the guy in Madison Square Garden, right? You couldn't be any more singularly responsible for the ruination of a franchise than this guy, right? With his Isaiah stuff and all this other nonsense, the bad deals. This franchise is worth $3.2
billion.
billion.
Amazing, $3 billion.
And you know, they're not even like a 500 club, and everybody's celebrating. He's got them so conditioned to the idea.
But next year, when they have Durant and Porzingis, then it's a new ball game.
You imagine?
You're talking Durant now. That's the big.
You think
last
Durant's
going
to go to the? I think
you're a big New York fan.
I think it's foregone conclusion, don't you?
I don't know. I don't know what's
the Post would have you believe that.
Yeah.
That Durant had already signed in a secret, under-the-table deal that they.
The Post, which we love, also had LeBron signed to them.
Oh,
one of our guys, Max here, one of my cataloger.
Big Knick fan.
Biggest New York sports fan in the world. Okay. He's got a personal agenda with the Manning boys. But he's a big Knicks fan, and he's already got Durant starting it forward.
Can this really happen? No, a decrepit old Peyton Manning coming out there, looking like Chester from Gunsmoke as he goes on the field. And can he really trot out there? If it really has any truth to the idea that, if there is any, that the team with the better quarterback is going to come up the winner. I mean, at this stage, you'd have to say that Cam Newton was like beyond light years ahead of Peyton Manning in terms of being a threat. And, hopefully, we'll see, some semblance of the old Manning, so it's not an embarrassment. But I think it's going to be get the hook time by the time they get to the third quarter, no?
You've seen stranger things happening, and that's why it's called the NFL. Watch Denver come out and win the game 23-0.
That'll happen, yeah, because, of course, I'm all over this thing. And, Paulie, man, if anybody could speak to it, it's you. You almost feel guilty. Like, being a Jew, I feel guilt anyway, about a variety of things that I had nothing to do with, including, bubonic plague and famine and all that
tornado that touched down a half hour ago.
We're responsible for all
that.
But
when you like the chalk, I mean, people just frown on you. You almost feel like you shouldn't even go outside and admit this to the public. And yet, I don't know. I don't feel too hesitant to go ahead and. If Denver wins, they win without me in this ballgame. That's for sure.
I'm going to go 24-17. Nothing cute with the scores. I'm going to go under the 45. 24-17, Carolina.
I know. Now, what do you make of all this? Everybody's got to make a racial issue. Your buddy Levitard all over this thing. It's everything's a black and white issue now. It seems. And now this big deal with Cam Newton is that I'm a black guy. That's why they hate me.
Well, Charles Barkley, Barkley was on there and. He was saying, enough with all this stuff. It doesn't fit this. Really doesn't fit this. Newton was how he was all along. This is how he played at Auburn. He said he saw him 7-8 games at Auburn. He high-fived everyone, ran up and down, just wildly enthusiastic. And point of the matter is, I mean, this is you want to talk about a physical specimen, right? What an athlete. Look at him. I mean, this is like, let's make the perfect physical specimen.
Who was the kid in your neighborhood that nobody could bring down? It was Joey Vanat in my neighborhood. The guy literally would carry like 40 Jews on his back.
Butch Velosa.
Butch who?
Butch Velosa.
And he would just run. I mean, it could have been Vito.
We had Dominic Spinelli.
Yeah.
He was always an Italian kid, wasn't it?
Now, what was the story? I mean, the whole school literally would be on this guy's back. He's still carrying people, like he was an ant, we're building a colony there, one breadcrumb at a time. But, it was always that one guy. Cam Newton seems to be that guy. But I don't know. It's sad, really. It's become insufferable, all this business about you can't talk about a guy. I would think sports bridges that gap more than it divides it.
Of course. If anything, in sports throughout the history of time.
The guy's just an amazing athlete, an amazing specimen. He's everything LeBron James is with spikes. And he should just be known as a great quarterback. It shouldn't be black, white, anything. It shouldn't come down to that.
Again, he was even on one of the young men that worked for you, DEFO. The great Chris had a great take on with the David Blatt thing. What about reversed if David Blatt was black and I said Jada Pinkett Smith.
And LeBron was Larry Bird?
Yeah. Jada Pinkett Smith would boycott the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
By the way, they are giving David Duke the Lifetime Achievement Award this year at the Oscars. Not to earn a lot of great performances. All right, we're at the Auction Gallery of Boca Raton. Jay Bird, you mentioned again. We can't emphasize enough how much great stuff that you've had.
We've got some
really,
really super duper stuff. Don't forget, I showed you last time. We have 2 Miami Hurricane Championship rings in this auction this week, and the auction is this Sunday.
One belonging to Larry Coker, I think.
No, they were both from Charles
Coker?
Henry. He was a 4-year player. We have
good player, good time.
We have the '83 ring. Where the Hurricanes came back and beat Nebraska in the Orange Bowl, 31-30. Who was the quarterback there?
Bernie Kosar.
Bernie Kosar, that's great. And then he was a 4-year player, so we have the '87 under Jimmy Johnson also. So these are 2 rings that'll be featured.
One of the greatest pictures of all time was, I guess, the Miami Herald, when newspapers win the next day. The big photo shoot at the Fontainebleau Hotel, all the Nebraska fans. You want to talk about sick?
Heartbroken.
Heads were down by the pool. Not one head could even face the camera. That was
as a lifelong fan of the JM Lexus trivia show. I know you guys are having the 20th anniversary.
20th anniversary,
and that's going to be like mid-February, like the
second week of February.
That'll be February 13th, the day before our Valentine's auction, I think. So what we're doing here at the Auction Gallery at Boca Raton, because I was on the show while you were having your 17 heart transplants or something. We're going to
over under on that was 5 and a hook, by the way.
5 and a hook, and you set a record. What you set?
3 and a hook. That's right.
Went over by.
You set a record. 6 bypasses.
One of the few people in the country.
They were having to bypass the bypass.
That was on.
When I came out of the surgery, they said, true, after 13 hours in surgery, came out, they said you had 1 more than President Clinton and David Letterman. 6. I said, you're allowed to have 6? You're allowed to have 6?
That's unprecedented.
Yeah.
But anyway, in honor of the 20th anniversary of the JM Lexus, we're going to give away to the winner of both games, courtesy of the Auction Guy at Boca Raton. We have a solid gold topaz and diamond bracelet to game number 1. And for game number 2, we're going to give away a pair of vintage diamond and emerald earrings.
Get out of here. We're going to do that on our show?
We're going to do that on your show on February the 13th.
Are we eligible to win?
No.
I'll ask a bunch of Danny Little Red Lopez questions that nobody can get.
So we got a value of almost $1,000 there. So for all you folks that are JM Lexus Trivia Challenge fans, you're going to want to come.
It should be streaming live on his channel in very short order.
Let's hope so. And then we're
going to pirate our own show.
I think we're going to have some guests there that day too. I mean, everybody that's had some influence.
I like the people that made this called Chisel.
No, Chisel. That's just a box we found.
All right, how sick of a degenerate do you have to be to the Pro Bowl is coming up this week?
That's what I wanted to talk about. I heard you this morning.
Are you betting the Pro Bowl? Is anybody? Well, I mentioned this because there was nothing on TV last night. I'm trying to find.
How
some
sick
sports.
do you have to be to watch the Pro Bowl draft?
Well, I mean, you got to be pretty sick. But I was fascinated by it because they had some guy. It must be a different set of standards, I guess, or criteria if you're in the Hispanic media,
right,
as opposed to the English media. Because this guy didn't hold back. There was a guy from ESPN Deportes, and he was kind of doing like the red carpet thing, only sports version, where they had the guys that had just arrived in Hawaii. They got a little lei on them. There's a girl in a grass skirt with her belly button out, and they're asking them. Essentially, they were alternating hosts, and the one woman that was on there was like, "Oh, how wonderful is it to be here? Tell us about your journey." And this other guy from ESPN Deportes, every guy that he started with, he was, "All right, you were kicked out of 6 colleges. You're up on charges in 3 different states. There is suspicion that you might have been involved in a murder." It's like he was talking to Aaron Hernandez, and then after he would do this as his premise, the preface to the question, he would say, "So how does it feel to be here in Hawaii?" The guy was like, they would just blow off the fact that he had just, illuminated his entire criminal history beforehand. But that would be the only reason to watch the show. I don't know. I mean, does that go on in the Spanish media all the time?
Well, as we said, with the political, which no matter which way you might spin politically, with the Megyn Kelly-Trump feud, right? maybe it's not a good idea for him sitting in, but it's kind of funny when you brought back that question that Megyn Kelly asked him, Mr. Trump,
Yes.
We know you hate women. We know you degrade women. We know that you push women down the stairs. We know you took women and spent.
In fact, you called me a fat pig on the air. But I mean, if he's a no-show there, I guess it doesn't matter, right?
It don't matter.
The whole world is operating on a Kardashian mentality now,
Right.
where the bigger the loser you really look like, the more popular you become.
I think it's a win-win for him not to show up tonight, because if he loses Iowa, he can say the fact, well, it's because I didn't go to do the debate. And if the ratings really suck
Very good,
tonight,
yep.
if the ratings really suck, he's
Look
going
at
to
here,
say,
yep.
hey, look, without me, there's nothing. So
What's
I
the
think-
latest with the Wounded Warrior thing? There's big investigations going on, saying maybe the money ain't really going to the vets; it's going to back wheels at Aqueduct or something.
Well,
I mean, I've heard that for a while, and I've been
yeah.
associated with these guys. And
Me
I tell you
too.
what,
It's a fantastic organization, right?
It really rips at your guts when you think that hey, I'm complaining today because it's raining outside and I got to schlep to Hialeah or whatever, to make a bunch of money doing what we're doing now, just sitting there shooting a breeze, and then you see what these guys went through and what they go through in the aftermath. And you're thinking, wow, this is a great organization. You want to give everything you have to this organization.
Absolutely.
To find out that, well, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like, one of our old foundations there where, we were partying in the Bahamas for years at a time and never gave a dime to the people it was intended. No, I don't know. Is it like those biker guys that were on the highway a couple of weeks ago here where they were, what was it? Wheels up, guns down.
Yeah.
Where they, every
funny 'cause
charity they said,
30
oh yeah, that's what we're.
30% of them were packing. You
Yeah.
know, I don't understand about it.
I don't know. That's pretty sad. CBS
very
is
sad.
really hammering them with this, but I don't know. Is that like new revelations about this, or was that going on for a while?
With the Wounded Warriors, I hadn't heard. I
It's
hadn't
the first
heard it
thing
till
I've heard.
yesterday,
First I
really.
heard of it yesterday.
They're paying off like slot machines at an Indian casino there, like 40% after they take the rake, and having these
That's
big
a
parties.
shame. That's a shame.
Yeah, that guy didn't look too convincing. The guy that was the head, the CEO, he looked had like a Jim Jones kind of look.
One of the great rip-offs I thought was a great piece years back on 60 Minutes. And it was lawyers. It was 3 lawyers that were behind this, pretty well-to-do lawyers. Remember, was sending out for contributions of American Heart Association, the cancer research, and the logo was twisted just a little bit. And inside the flame, instead of 3 markings, there was 2. There was 1 letter off here or there, and it was a complete. You would think for sure that you were giving to the American Heart Association or to a cancer foundation, and it was going right in their pocket. They were giving 1%. I mean, it was.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of.
Were you looking into opening up a 500 C Corp or something?
I'll tell you, I've been going out to a lot of things lately. In fact, last night I went out to a show. You remember the old Crest, the 1950s Johnny Maestro's group? I took Gary and his wife. 16 candles. Anyway, we went to see them last night at the Lake Worth Playhouse, and the guy who's doing it now, his name is Tommy Marin, and they're old guys, but he did a thing about it. Everybody here who's a Vietnam vet, stand up. And he did like a 5-minute thing, and to see the public response that we had in that crowd last night, standing ovations for the military retired vets and stuff, and it's something that we really need to do more of, and stop being so picky on everything else that we do in this country.
Sure.
These people gave their lives. Here, these wounded warriors, they come back with all kinds of things. We really need to support these guys. In fact, you know what, Gary? Make a note of it. We're going to do a charity auction later this year for Wounded Warriors.
Good job, JP.
And funnel the money straight to the
straight
Warriors.
to the Warriors. We're going to put something together. We'll get the press involved.
They're pretty amazing people. I've had a chance, a friend of mine, Chris Visser, the brother of the talented one, Leslie Visser, he's been working with this group for a long time, and they do
we'll hook up with
some charity games around the country where the Wounded Warriors play whatever the local chapter of NFL alumni. Actually, the game they did here was really a lot of fun because one thing about the Dolphins, as lame as they have been in recent history, is if you go back to an era, say, from 20 years on back, all of these guys are still pretty well immersed in the community, and they show up. They really show up to support these sort of things. I mean, talking about, I was just talking to Jeff Dellenbach today.
Oh, yeah?
He was one of the,
I heard
not
that
the
interview.
highest
I
profile
heard that interview.
offensive lineman, but a guy that was around for a while. And all these guys are kind of similar like that. Jim Jensen and
Right.
you see Higgy and Zach Thomas and some of the other players from that era. They're pretty good about that. I mean, that's something that the franchise has lost. I don't know if they're in hiding because of their poor play. But,
I think that's.
but
part
you like
of
to see
actually.
it. And what happens, the Wounded Warriors, I mean, they can't help but move you, with these games. I've done a couple of them, one in New Jersey and one here. And the thought that they're just getting ripped off by these people is really about as despicable as it could possibly be. Now it's always going to be a cause célèbre, but almost in Bernie Madoffian fashion, the president is like, well, you know what, we got to generate funds, that's our job here, so we needed this $300,000 lavish weekend in Aspen, where, the babes are, making DiCaprio look like a disgrace. Just
I do
a constant parade of caviar and champagne.
I do a lot of charity auctions and I do them pro bono, and I have one stipulation when I go in and do a huge charity auction. In fact, I just did one last year for the South Florida American Cancer Society. If the charity gives all the money to the kids or to the foundation, and there's less than 10% payroll to the staff, I do it pro bono. If they have to charge, if they all get $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 salaries, $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to the kids, I do a lot of the ones for the Shriner kids. I'm their auctioneer, and I do that all pro bono because let's face it. I'm fortunate. Things have come around, and we work hard, but we have a good life. The three of us really do have a good life. And there's a lot of these kids that don't. The kids got a bad shake to start.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to help out as much as you can.
Auction gallery of Boca Raton. A lot of good stuff on tap here. All right, Abe Vigoda checked out.
I was so
I know
upset.
you wanted to get to this, Jay Bird, and
He texts me. He says, Sal Tessio checked
Sal
out.
Tessio checked
is
out.
Is that the guy from the fourth
and
floor?
you couldn't
at
remember. I almost
Calder?
forgot that he was Fish on the Barney Miller
Fish,
show, even though that was like his big role.
So the
And of course, Abe Vigoda, known for checking out. We've had him dead
he's
for
checked
40
out 4
years, right?
times.
This time was real.
This time was real. So I went in and I came up with a little. Maybe you guys can.
You notice,
humor
though,
me.
as time moves on, like you tend to think more guys are dead
Yes.
than alive.
Exactly.
Like your first instinct used to be alive.
We had Guy
But now
LaFleur
it's
dead, the little
dead.
flower. Dead.
Gay LaFleur, dead as a doornail.
So I compiled a list, mostly of sports, a few
right.
entertainment, and let's get your opinion, dead or alive. How about Red Shandy's?
I'm going to go dead.
Dead.
Alive.
Alive.
Wow. Alive.
See, you know what I suspected, though? That he would only be on the list if he was alive, because in all likelihood, a guy named Red is probably dead. Red Barber, dead.
The
right?
umpire, Doug Harvey.
Doug Harvey, wow. I'll go dead. Heart
I'm going to
attack,
go dead
64.
also.
Alive.
Wow.
See, our natural inclination, though, is to have this guy deceased. Dead and
How
buried.
about the good hockey player, Maurice Richard?
Maurice dead.
He's dead.
Long gone.
He's
Yeah,
dead.
yeah.
He's dead.
John
He's
Bellevue.
dead.
Yeah,
He's
dead.
dead. How about
Henri
LaFleur.
Richard, dead.
Alive.
Yeah.
how about the singer Slim Whitman?
Slim Whitman?
The commercials we used to make fun of. The commercials we made. No one ever heard of Slim Whitman. Now at 80 years old, the romantic
Comes back
stylings
as a
of
star,
Slim, of Slim Whitman.
Hear him sing his hit ballad.
Yeah. Who's Slim Whitman? We have been
I
been
knew
around
you were a
for
loser when I met you. Yeah, okay, Slim. Slim, I'm going to go dead just because he probably didn't
I
need
gotta
enough to
go.
stay alive.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen commercials in the last 3 years, but I'll go alive.
He's dead.
Dead. All right. I'm one up on you, Party Man.
Another
You
singer.
got one more
I'm weak
corpse.
and
One more
one thing
corpse
I'm
in your
weak on.
corner.
I'm
Yeah.
good at trivial stuff, but weak on dead and
No,
alive.
another singer, Hoyt Axton.
Oh, he's dead.
Dead.
He's dead.
Can we get a coffin out here to use as a prop? I mean, do you ever get coffins that you take in?
How about the old coach of the Minnesota Vikings, Bud Grant?
He was just out
Oh,
there
he was
with
alive,
his shirt
yeah,
off
yeah.
doing
Oh,
muscle
okay.
the other day.
Yeah,
We
he's
saw him
alive.
on TV.
He's never going to die.
No, I'm
Grant
never
can't
going to die.
He's 107.
He's going to outlive Abe Vigoda.
Yes. Well, he did.
Louis Aparicio.
Oh, the great shortstop from the White Sox.
Holy
1951 World Series. I say he outran the Grim Reaper and is still alive.
Alive?
Luis Aparicio.
You got to go dead.
Why do I feel that he just died a few years ago? I'm going to go dead.
He's alive.
Whoa! Little Louis Aparicio leading off today for the White Sox.
And, the great wrestler, Ric Flair.
He's alive.
Flair's alive, yeah. He was just on TV
he was
yesterday.
he was holding some promo yesterday. Yeah.
Well, my list had him as dead. So.
You had him as dead, Flair?
I think he just, He just died a couple weeks ago.
No, he was just
Ah,
yesterday. He was on
the
a thing
radio
yesterday.
I have to check that one out. Maybe I put it in the wrong column.
Yeah, he was. Who was he? He's coming to the Super Bowl with somebody.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
he
maybe
wrestled last night at
all right.
some Indian casino.
How's about Lee McPhail?
He's got to be dead. Because he was 80 when I was like 7 years old. I was in the first grade. He was
long gone, man. Long gone. Sayonara 20 years ago.
Okay. How about the ice skater, Dick Button? You haven't seen him on TV in a while.
Didn't he get killed? Not only dead, didn't someone
might have
club him
just
to death,
checked
I
out.
think?
If he's dead,
I'm going
it's
to say
recent.
dead.
He's still alive.
Still alive? Who was the skater they beat up? No, it was him, but he lived.
This guy was
Dick
great,
Button,
though,
right?
wasn't
Yeah, but he lived. But he lived.
He was terrific, though. I mean, might have been the greatest color analyst of any sport, as abstract as skating is.
Would you call him Salcho's, triple Salcho, double Salcho?
He would have an orgasm as the guy was just building up to a double sow cow, which, what is a double sow cow? When would you ever, discuss a sow cow in any other conversation
other than
besides skating, right? And he was on to the French judge, too, that she was full of crap. She was giving a little Russian girl sevens on every...
One more here. The great outfielder from the Cubs, Billy Williams.
Dead.
I'm going to say in the last 2 years he's dead.
Dead.
He's alive.
What?
He's alive, Billy
He's
Williams?
Oh, man, I think you juxtaposed the list.
Yeah.
Maybe I did, but I think he's alive. I'll check
Didn't he
that
just
one.
die, Billy
I
Williams?
think he rolled a 7 years ago. Billy Williams, check
We'll
him
check
out.
it out.
Is this list still like possibly 2 years old?
Do we have a fact?
I got it off the thing 2 nights ago.
Do we have
Billy
a fact
Williams-
verification?
All right, okay,
system
okay.
here? We're giving this away, people. Don't worry about the dead or alive.
That's all I got.
We got Billy Williams dead.
Next week, Gary will demonstrate the double sow cow for us with roller skates.
He's gonna practice it
He
all
does
week.
that with inline skates. No, it's good stuff. All right, Sunday going to be fun day here this Sunday, right, Jay Burns?
This Sunday, be here at 11 o'clock, and we're going to have, like
That
I
was
said...
a tough dead or alive list. That was tough.
yeah.
Especially if some of the guys that were alive were dead and vice versa.
No, I think I got it right. I think I got it right. I'm going to
Williams.
verify. Billy Williams.
I don't want to say... Oh, it was Ernie Banks that checked out.
Yeah, it was Ernie. I
Maybe
think Billy
Williams
Williams
is still alive. He
alive.
He could be.
I know I got that one right. Anyhow...
The other guy's alive, though. Ric Flair, unless there was another Ric Flair.
I got him on the dead list. We'll check that out.
How about when Ric Flair came off the top rope? No.
So anyway, the auction is...
Ric Flair was just at one of the Trump rallies.
Yes. Oh, he
That's
just
what I saw,
started
yeah.
endorsing, Donald Trump.
maybe I put it...
Ric Flair's
Live
thing,
Ric
yeah.
Flair.
You looked him up? He's alive?
Billy Williams, Chicago Cubs, alive?
Look up Billy Williams
Billy
for me.
Williams.
He's alive. Anyway, the auction is this Sunday here, right here in this beautiful gallery. Maybe one of these days we'll do a pan shot here.
Yeah.
We're going to have 200 people in here. They standing room only. So call us at 561. What is our phone number here? That would be great if I knew it. I'm only the owner here. What is our phone number?
Ends with a 6'8".
865-3444.
Yeah, that's all right,
That's
man. I
it.
forget the numbers all the time.
And give us a call and reserve some seats because they fill up fast. We have a lot of fun. I sit up there and I joke all day long, and I try everything I can do to get you guys a great deal on merchandise when you sit here and bid on it.
Top notch on jewelry got me in a jackpot. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going down. People have been asking, too, what do they wear to this ceremony? And what do you wear to a human sacrifice? That would be the question of the day. What do you wear to a wedding? Yeah.
Maybe Jay has one of those old Mayan bracelets where they used to throw them down and chop the head
I think you
off.
should take a yarmulke and a tallis.
That's it?
That's what they're going to bury you in
It's
later
an
on
ugly
in life.
picture, yeah. A naked Deforrest with a young and a tallis. At the little chapel of the Schmoes or whatever that's going to be out there in Las Vegas. But no, you got me in the jackpot.
I didn't get you in the
so
jackpot.
cheap.
I told you that
So
this
cheap,
was
and
a
the people
beautiful,
rave about it.
beautiful friendship ring. She's going to love this as a friendship
my
ring.
ass.
Well, if I knew you were going to do that, I'd have gone for a higher quality,
You coulda
more
stopped me.
expensive.
You could have stopped me, Jay Bird. If you were any kind of a human being, you would have said, listen, Deef, you know what this is going to lead to. She's going to fall in love with this and think she's in love with you.
The funniest thing is when you didn't call me for a present for this Christmas, I told the Paulie man, it sounds to me like I think he's going to be getting married.
Yeah, he did. He called
I said, no present.
No, it was more along the lines of I was Tap City.
I said that was
Nobody sends out checks around Christmas. Let's face it. Even your most loyal clients.
Does he actually use the gavel, Gary, to sold? He never uses it, does he? Yeah.
It's a prop. If I don't like
Well, the table came in if you hit it? Go ahead, try it. Oh, nice. Sold American.
It's funny, for every birthday and Hanukkah for the last 20 years, someone gives me a gavel with my name on it. I have a gavel collection of about 30 of them.
All right, yeah, that's
Sure,
like
like
me
that.
racking up a pin from every radio
It's
station.
the radio station.
You got like enough to cover your entire
What we
chest.
do
You can use that to mash garlic, too, if you're making
If anybody wants to call and get on our mailing list, we send out 15,000 of these flyers that we do. Our auction manager, Ian Morales, over there, does a hell of a job putting that together.
You put together a good crew here.
We
Yeah.
have,
Real
let me
good
tell you
crew,
something. I've got, and don't,
great guys,
How
Don't
much
let
bail
this-
money?
don't
young
let
guys.
this go to your heads. But I have a hand-picked crew. I took
No,
them
this is a
all.
good crew.
I took them all off the streets. I made them what they are. Look at the women come in. They love, for some reason, they love that beard. Can you figure? Look at that beard. Would you love that beard? Take a look. Come
Good-looking
over here.
beard.
Come over here.
Good-looking
Show them
beard.
that beard on TV. The women
Yeah,
love
get
that
thing
beard.
out there. No, that thing is great. Now, how much bail money do you have to keep in the safe?
It cost me $1,200 a
On
month.
a weekday, just on a
just to
weekday.
keep them out of for the probation officer.
Let's see the beard here. Come on.
Look at this beard. This is the great Dwight White. Okay, we haven't
White,
ladies and gentlemen. We haven't figured out what his heritage is. Okay, if we go into an Arab house, he's Arabic. We go to a Jamaican house. He
That's good.
speaks
That's a good-
Could be a
Jamaican.
rabbi,
Good.
too.
He sometimes we put a yarmulke on him and we take him in as a
Give
Hasidic
him the
Jew.
prayer for
Gotta
wine.
respect
Yeah,
that. That's a good move.
He's
That's a
off to
good
the
move,
races, this
buddy.
guy.
Okay, last week you met the great Gary Sher. What he does here, he gives us some stability. Okay,
Yeah.
we have to have somebody over here that's older than dirt, so we keep him here. Okay, he's the bad cop against my good cop.
yeah,
When we
that's a
have
good
some
mix,
problems
yeah.
there, he handles the problems. Over here, come on over here. I want to introduce our auction manager, Ian Moore. Put the tallest back on. You look good. Ian,
There's an element of trust involved with a guy
Believe it
that's
or
wearing a
not,
tallis, you know.
for me,
You don't
we
suspect
have
he's
a.
a
This
rabbi,
is Ian
from
Morales.
Russia. Yeah.
Ian here is our auction manager. You know,
What's going on?
we run $1 million business here, and here I have a 22-year-old kid running it. Okay, so
Nice.
he is so dedicated. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what your kids should grow up to be. 22 years old, he's running a $3-4 million business.
And he does this to subsidize his job as a actor on those telenovelas.
Yes,
on
yes.
He does,
Univision.
Only
he does
part-time,
a,
only part-time.
a hell of a job. He puts together everything. He puts together. We're on 5 different internet platforms. We have over
6 now.
300,000 bidders across the world, and he communicates with everybody. He treats them all with respect. I you know, if somebody calls up with a problem, my response is, tell him to go fuck himself. Okay, he's Jay.
You're just going with your instincts.
Jay, I'll handle it. And then they come back. Thanks, Ian.
All right, thank you,
Okay.
Good job. Good job.
Then we got Max. Max I hired at our last venue.
Yes.
He started out as a guy who cleaned the bathrooms and did the stock. Now he's my #1 cataloger. Okay. And we have the great Melissa. Her and our mother, her and
modeling
our
the coat,
stepmother,
yeah.
they run.
Did you sell the coat? It's gone.
The coat disappeared.
Somebody came in and lifted
Miss
it?
Melissa, you steal the coat?
Yeah.
The great Melissa, her and her
6
mother
times out the window.
run one of the largest estate sale outfits in all of Florida. And I noticed her pictures that she did on the internet. I said to her, Melissa, how would you like to come be my photographer? Sure enough, she's here. What a staff I have accumulated.
You sure do.
They are
Tremendous,
fabulous.
yeah.
Great people, too.
I can
Really,
go
really,
away on
really
a
nice
cruise. In
people.
fact, I think I will go away on another cruise. And I come back and the whole thing is all done. They're good people.
We walked in, we thought you were casting for the sequel to The Usual Suspects, and turns out they're all great
They're
people.
all good kids.
Performing
They're
a
all good
tremendous
kids.
function.
All good.
All right, before we go, Super Bowl predictions here, Polyman. What do we got?
I'm going to go Carolina 24, Denver 17.
Atlanta 24, Denver 17. So laying the wood and figuring it.
Under, actually. Though I don't get involved in any overs and unders. The last 3 Super Bowls
Peyton
have
Manning,
gone over.
did he carry him out on a stretcher or in a blaze of glory?
I'm going to go against the grain because whenever I go with the grain, I get chewed up. I'm going to say 1917 Denver.
Denver on top.
Denver,
Right?
1917.
You're not alone there, Jay Bird, in
I'm going to go
that opinion. I think this is a crush job. 10 points or more. I'd be more than well. I thought the line was. I pulled a polyman. I was thinking, what would the line be on this game? Before I saw it, and I thought maybe 6.5, 7. And sure enough, just based on level of competition and past performance, recent past performance, Denver life and death to get by a New England team that was sort of in a little bit of decline there towards the end of the season, and then Arizona was supposed to be good. Bruce Arians was the fair-haired boy. This was going to be the year. Carson Palmer finally didn't look like Betsy Palmer back there. Right. Was going to win some playoff games, and they shut him down. So I think they're just a more complete team. Their offense is dynamic, and so is their defense. Whereas Denver is really just a defense and a quarterback that was a little bit hobbled.
I brought up last show, and it's still mind-boggling to me. Mike Schuler.
Great job.
Hey, look at the job this kid is doing, and he hasn't had an interview.
Flipping the ball to Ted Ginn they're laughing as the plays develop. Yeah.
Something's just not kosher there. Something's not kosher.
I don't know. I get back to this. The one thing that one guy told me that I thought, had some good insight into it maybe was that he just doesn't really want to do that right now. I mean, maybe he's happy doing what he's doing.
But a few years up the road,
I think next year he's got to be the hot commodity if this continues the way it is.
And I like the quick starts. I mean, that's also relatable to the offensive coordinator. They always get the jump on the opposition, or seem to, even in the games they collapsed in. I mean, they were way out front and had won the game and put it away early, which you like to see an aggressive.
I mean, how great of a hire would that have been for the Dolphins to bring Schuler's kid in?
Would have been good, yeah. I mean you would think.
Great public relations move, too.
Yeah. And maybe too much heat coming along with it. It would be like trying to follow the polyman into his various capacities at the Magic City Casino.
Yeah. Going against Manning, though, we've been a little fortunate. One of the best bets and one of the best wins was when I had New Orleans preseason to win a Super Bowl that year, and Manning threw the big. That was a good pick preseason. New Orleans was a big price, and then 2 years ago, that was the crush job. We all agreed Seattle was going to crush the Manning-led Broncos. Then what was that score? 48-10 or something. But
crush job coming up.
You think so?
Yeah, it's very lopsided Super Bowl.
All right.
Well, you're heading out there. Wednesday?
Leaving Tuesday for San Francisco.
And when does the big event take place in the Little Chapel of the Bells?
You had to remind me. We got to go. Gary's picture's up there on the wall. Kind of like the
big mural there.
Gary's flying out for the Super Bowl just to be your witness.
He's got one of those pictures too that looks like the manager of the deli at Publix. The black and white thing, giant little thing in a frame. But Saturday is Saturday post times 4 p.m. for the
4 p.m.
Day before the Super Bowl.
Day before the Super Bowl.
And isn't it only fitting? That's our actual date of our 20th anniversary show. You're getting married.
Beautiful.
That's a nice touch.
On that day.
Good touch.
Nice touch.
That way it'll be easy to remember both. All right, we're going to go. The Auction Gallery of Boca Raton, Sunday. What time is post time?
Sunday, post time's 1 p.m. 11 o'clock, the Parimutuel windows open at 11 a.m. It'll be a catered affair. You can come in Friday and Saturday and pre-bet your wagers on the big race.
And really, in all honesty, we kid and we joke, but nobody does this like Jay Bird and his crew.
I got five.
Talking about great value. Great value. You get some great stuff here, as we can all attest to. So they do a fantastic job.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Todd, tremendous engineering job. All the staff here at the Auction Gallery of Boca Raton. The Polyman, Paul Massell. The Jay Bird, a.k.a. the Auction Man, Jay Keelstock. I'm Jeff DeForrest. We'll see you next time from the Auction Gallery of Boca Raton.